I've been seeing a lot of action going on about Arnieville. What is Arnieville?
Arnieville is a destination, just like Americana in Glendale, it's a destination. Just like 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, it's a destination. Just like Rodeo Drive, it's a destination where there's community of businesses providing a safe shopping experience. And so Sunland Tahunga didn't have a destination and does not have a destination. And for that reason, people don't come to Sunland Tahunga. Usually the residents leave Sunland Tahunga and go to Montrose, Glendale, Burbank, Pasadena. So Arnieville was thought of, and I actually invested my own money, my own time, my own energy to build a community of businesses that families in Sunland Tahunga and outside of in the surrounding areas can visit. So Americana didn't change the name of Glendale. Rodeo Drive didn't change the name of Beverly Hills. It's a destination. So there's some people that think Sunland Tahunga is going to be changed to Arnieville. That's a long shot. But at the end of the day, Sunland Tahunga will remain Sunland Tahunga, and Arnieville will live in Sunland Tahunga as a destination to provide a safe and happy environment for communities, for the community and for families.
Speaking of Sunland Tahunga, what were some of the challenges you had to face of doing business here?
Sunland Tahunga is surrounded by 2 mountains. We don't have drive-through traffic. We don't have high-rise buildings. We don't have tourism. Literally, 99% of even Angelinos, not even talking about the rest of the world, do not know where Sunland Tahunga is, do not know Sunland Tahunga exists. So it's very challenging to do business. Drawing traffic, drawing people from the local communities and people visiting LA is not that easy because we don't have hotels. We don't have places where people can stay. We have a couple golf courses within, 5-10 minutes. We have the La Cañada one. We have the Angeles Golf Course. But Sunland Tahunga is a very challenging community to do business in. And as usual, my grandfather was a wise man. He said he used to take the bus all the way to Hollywood. And he used to say, we brought you from Armenia all the way to Los Angeles, and you decide to do business in Sunland Tahunga rather than going to Melrose, Hollywood Boulevard, Glendale. And it was just a choice I made after I had multiple businesses all over LA. And I wanted to have our businesses in the same area, within the same street community, so that we could build clean and provide a safe place. So Sunland Tahunga is a challenging place, but I encourage you to come down, open a business, and we'll do our best to support you.
So when and how did you get involved into politics?
Well, politics and business is like boiling water and oil. It just doesn't mix. However, that was before. Now, politics used to be driven by people. Now, politics is driving people and communities and corporations. So when I got involved in politics is when we had an armed robbery at our Munchies Mart, and they put a gun to my wife's head, zip tied her hands, things you see in movies, and literally just stole stupid stuff that they actually broke. However, that got me upset. I got involved. Before that, I didn't care much. I used to donate to, candidates. I used to not be involved, not invest my time. So after that armed robbery, I got involved, and here we are today. My grandfather used to always say, hang your head down, take care of family, work hard, but things have to change because politics and business go hand in hand. You can't not get involved in politics in today's world. And if you're not, you're naive because laws are changing that impact you, your business, your family, your children. So if there's anybody out there that gets offended by my politics, that's because you're in politics and maybe we don't see eye to eye, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, I chose to get involved in politics because policy was putting businesses out of business that we were part of. And it was important to educate lawmakers because they're only human too.
Now that you mentioned politics, what was the noise about the murals?
The funny thing is, we had an artist, Art, buddy of mine, who used to live up the street in Tahunga. He did a couple murals for me before, and he had a baby. He needed some work. And he also had a couple ideas. He did the French mural, he said, somewhere in France, that's on the side of the Arnie's Bakery building. And we have another mural that has Obama and Trump. So he said to me, he said, I always wanted to do an Obama and Trump mural. So I was like, cool, that seems cool. One on each side, best of both worlds kind of thing at the moment, which was done about 2.5 years ago. And so he drew a mural, which is Obama smoking a joint in his college years, back when he was a rebel, and Trump taking the joint. So, and he wrote, "What if?" So the what if was, what if these two men smoked a joint together, and America would be a better place, and all parties could just chill out and smoke a joint. Well, some people took it out of context because that serves their political purpose. And they said that that was a Trump only mural, and I'm a Trumper, and I'm a mega, and all this stuff. Success is enemies. What are you going to do? Not be successful? You're going to go hide in a closet because people are going to hate on you? If we put a mural of Jesus Christ, people would get offended. If I put a mural of the gay pride, people would get offended. People got offended. I had Armenian flags during April 24th, April genocide, and they got offended, and they said they wouldn't come to my businesses because I was Armenian and I was sporting the Armenian flag, without asking what the story is behind it. So in life, anything you do, people get offended. It wasn't our intent. It wasn't the artist's intent. That's art. Whether you agree with the art or not, that's what artists do. They create art. And is it political? Yes. Was it supposed to be more of a light gesture and fun? Yes. But here we are. We get some people that said they wouldn't support me, which most of those people haven't supported me in 20 years I've been in the community. So I don't think they were ever going to support me. But it has drawn a lot of people from the surrounding areas to support us, that's kind of cool. Unfortunate, but cool.
So what's coming for Arnieville in the near future?
Arnieville in August will have fitness classes. Arnieville will have dance classes. We have salsas on Wednesdays. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday we'll have exercises, fitness classes. We have an amazing community, by the way. We have great people in the community that are coming and joining us. It's become a hub. They're coming in talking to me about what opportunities and their thoughts and their suggestions. We have a lot of great things coming. We're going to bring back comedy nights, open mic, everything. Songwriter showcase. We have movie nights. Saturdays we have pony rides. We have the slides for the kids. We're having a good time, and everybody's welcome to join us, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all deserve to live happily on earth.
So what made you go into businesses and pursue the entrepreneur's dream?
It's unfortunate because a lot of people have told me not to do what I do and have compared me to family members that are in the banking industry, family members that graduated and got degrees. And they always told me, oh, you see, so-and-so is doing so great. He has a secure job. So-and-so's family has insurance and they can, health insurance. So-and-so has weekends off. I don't want to name them because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, usually people tell me that when I was down and out. And I became a millionaire twice in my life, 3 times now. But, that's what entrepreneurs do. And my grandfather was an entrepreneur. My father was an entrepreneur. My father gave me the option back when I got in trouble when I was 14, 15, what I wanted to do. Did I want to live the street life? Did I want to be an entrepreneur? Did I want to go to school? And he was going to support me in whatever journey I chose. And I told him I wanted to be like him and own a business and run businesses. So I chose to get into entrepreneurship. I think it's in my blood. Entrepreneurship was not that cool. Owning your own business was not that cool 25 years ago. That wasn't the hottest item. Everybody wanted you to go to school and be an engineer and be a doctor and all that, lawyer. But I chose entrepreneurship because I think that's how I'm built. I just have that drive, and I love the change. I love the challenges. I love the revolving involvement of communities, policies, politics, to food, creating good food, creating healthy food, creating good environments. That's the challenge I chose, and we're having a good time, enjoying it while it lasts.
So what would you say to the supporters and to the naysayers about your business in general?
We live in America. You can support who you want, how you want, what you want. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I don't like wearing Gucci. I don't like wearing Armani. I don't like wearing designer clothes because I think it's a ripoff. Am I gonna knock the people off that are wearing it? Nah, maybe I'll, bust their chops. But at the end of the day, it's the choice of freedom. That's what America is about. There's a lot of naysayers that want to enforce their beliefs on me. Change the mural and I will visit your business. Serve this food, gluten-free food, and I will visit your business. Change the name from Arnie to Bob's and I will visit your business. You know what? God bless him. I wish him well. I don't have any bone to pick with him. The world is a big enough place for us to live and let live, do business, shop where we want. And gratefully, thankfully, we have enough supporters that keep us in business. Life is beautiful. And it's sad that people are that way, that they want to enforce their beliefs on other people. All I say is selling Tahunga to all over LA to America. It's an open place. Do business. Open your own business and call it whatever you want. Call it after your name, your kid's name, your dad's name, your ancestor's name. Call it the city name. Call it a funny name. Call it a goofy name. Whatever floats your boat. But at the end of the day, it's important to let people be. And I think Americans have become very entitled and believe that it's their duty to drive small businesses out of business because it doesn't fit in with their own purpose or agenda.
But what are some of the challenges that you faced with all of your businesses, building them up from the ground?
Well, the biggest challenge you're going to face is building a solid team. It's kind of like building a basketball team, building a sports team. You're always not going to have the perfect championship team because you're always going to be missing something. So building the team is the most challenging part of, growth, uh, getting bigger and better. However, it's the journey and the beauty that counts. So are there challenges? Yes, there's always going to be obstacles and challenges in every part of business, every part of the journey you take in life. But as an entrepreneur, I think building the right team is the most important part of scaling your business and building a bigger community.
What would you tell the people who want to start their own business or bakery?
Well, starting a food business is difficult. Starting a bakery is very difficult from scratch. It took us 2 years to build Arnie's Bakery Cafe. We were actually in the verge of changing the type of business, but I chose to stick with the bakery. It's a very difficult thing to do. If you have the choice to start your own business, as much as I hate to say it, do it illegally. LA and California is business friendly. So you don't have to pay tax, you don't have to pay insurance, you don't have to pay workers' comp, you don't have to, pay rent, you don't have to pay bills, you don't have to pay taxes to the city or the state or any help permitting. Now it's only $25 to pay for the help permit and just become a food vendor. So start small and scale up. If you could do it from home, build an online website or a social media accounts and promote it and see if the idea you have makes sense. And when it does, you can go ahead and scale on it and build a brick and mortar. I don't recommending brick and mortar and retail businesses at the moment in California. There are too many laws and policies and legislation that go into place that are just hurting small businesses. But I always tell people to follow their dream. If you believe that's your calling, if you believe that that's what you want to do, go for it. You might fail, you might not succeed, that's not what you might be built for or want at the end of the day, but at least go for it. Give it a shot.
With all the success you've seen in your life, who was your mentor growing up?
As a child, your mentors change in a way, but one of my biggest mentors that I had was my father. But as far as outside that I saw someone succeed was Kurt Krikorian. He was the Armenian, and he caught my eye when in an interview he said, "We're Armenians, we're warriors, we don't give up." And as a 12, 13-year-old, I could relate to that, and that stuck by me. So as a visionary, he was a visionary who built the biggest hotels in Las Vegas. I looked up to him. As far as people that mentored me, I had instructor, Mr. Pitta. In Pasadena College, I had a few other people that helped me along the way and helped me navigate the entrepreneurial world. It wasn't easy. Finding the right mentor or the right people to speak with that would actually give you an honest reply was very challenging, but I was blessed to have a few people in my life that actually helped me and mentored me through my hardest, difficult times.
So, who's your hero in life?
You know, deep down, I have two heroes. One is my father. He was a solid man. He was a good dude. He was a good man. He went through a lot. He died at a young age of 42, but he lived a full life. That's how I'd like to look at. Was his life cut short? Definitely. 42 is nothing. When I hit 42, I realized, holy crap, 42 years on earth is nothing. By the time you try to figure life out, have children and a family and successful business, you've way past 42. So, that was a challenging part, but he actually was a solid man that got up every morning, took care of business, worked his way through life, and provided for his family. The other person is Jesus Christ. I mean, he's a hero. He meant well, he did well, and going through life and challenges and reading the good book, I realized how difficult it is to forgive people, how difficult it is to see the good in people, how difficult it is to always want the best for people, turn the other cheek. You know, it's always difficult to stay positive during very negative times because your ego could get engaged, you could get hurt, you could get angry, which anger is a mask for pain. It's just challenging. But looking between my father and Jesus, I think they helped me navigate life, and those have been my heroes in my life.
What would you say your political view is in the presidential election?
This presidential election is a very sensitive subject right now. I think it's a mockery. I think the globalists are playing us. I think they've got the human race playing against each other while they win. I don't believe Biden should have ran. He's not all there. That is just my take. Trump is the more aggressive one of them two. I do feel cheated for RFK. Robert Kennedy should have stayed in as a Democrat, and he should have debated, Biden and seen who's the best candidate is for the Democratic Party. But there's nothing democratic about blocking him to change his politics or political party in order to be able to participate in the political presidential election. So it's an ugly one. I don't agree with a lot of the things that are going on. Biden is going to be replaced. The Robert Kennedy is a very good candidate. He cares for the people. He cares for the children. I'm a JFK Democrat, so it tells me a lot about what has happened between the Democratic Party of the 50s and 60s and today.
What are your thoughts about the minimum wage in California?
Minimum wage in California is, I believe, $16.25, but fast food workers got a $20 minimum, which technically now the minimum wage is $20. Because how do you raise the minimum wage for fast food workers, meaning the bare minimum entry job, McDonald's, and then pay the security guard that's supposed to guard your business $17 an hour, let's say, or pay the person that's bagging your groceries $17? Because everybody says, hey, I could go work at McDonald's and make $20. So it created a chaos because of the 25% increase at once. This has never been done before. During a recession, during a time where people are hurting, during a time where the government's hired a lot of tax auditors to audit everybody, I mean, come on. It wasn't properly done. We just have to live with it as business owners and navigate through it. I think people will catch on, but people need to realize that if minimum wage goes up, product cost goes up, because wages are part of the equation to come up with the final price of the product that you sell, whether it's food or whether it's deodorant and shampoo and everything else.
What's your take on the city of LA charging food vendors only $27 instead of 500 plus?
Originally, they were going to charge 500 plus for a food vendor license or permit. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, you're hurting the brick and mortar that pay your rents, pay your bills, pay their taxes, pay the permit fees. Our lowest permit fee for our smallest 200 square foot drive through is 700 something bucks. So if you have a restaurant, our bakeries, I think, was $1,700. So what's the message you're sending to business owners that, if you do it illegally, we're going to give you breaks. If you don't have a permit, we're going to give you a permit for 25, 27 bucks. That permit fee is not even going to pay for the labor that's processing those permits and answering questions for those permits. So, City of LA politicians aren't always on point. I wish politicians worked at businesses before they became politicians. A lot of them don't and haven't, and don't understand the challenges. Some do, but there isn't anything they could do because that's how the mostly majority votes. So I think it's not the right approach, but I do think that's a good, maybe it's a good starting point, better than not permitting them, I guess you would say. So it's a horrible policy, but it is what it is.
What are your thoughts about Pride Month?
Pride Month, just another month. I mean, I think last year Pride Month got a lot more traction and noise. This year it was just about Pride. I have zero problems with Pride Month or Pride parades or, my gay friends and everybody else. I do have a problem with the pedophiles and people trying to be naked in front of children. I do believe children need to stay innocent, and we need to, as adults, protect their innocence and make sure that they're given a childhood before they face adulthood. Other than that, I think everybody has the right to freedom of expression and live their life. Why not? Let them be.
What is your take on homelessness in Los Angeles?
Ay, ay, ay. I've had my fair share of homeless people who were entitled, who thought they owned the road and they owned the city and they owned my business. And in front of my business, I've had homeless throw shit inside my business. I've had homelesses piss in my business. I've had homelesses break into my business. Name it. I've had homelesses take showers in my businesses. I've had homelesses use my water, my trash cans. It's crazy. They created homelessness is not the problem, it's the result of the problem. Whether it's addiction, mental health, or it's just part of the chaos they create to keep the average person busy with things that really don't affect the bigger guys, the things that don't affect the big companies and the big corporations and big policymakers. As far as LA, I believe Karen Bass is mishandling homelessness tremendously. She's going to bankrupt the city of LA. She's already spent $300 million, which are not accounted for, by the way. And each homeless costs us about $17,000 a month, $600,000 a unit to house them. And those people still have to pay rent and bills and utilities and assistance. So it's ridiculous what they're doing. So again, it's sending the wrong message that if you're homeless and useless and addicted to something, we're going to bring you in. We're going to give you a brand new apartment. But if you work hard and go to school and bust your ass, guess what? You can barely make your rent. So you got to get a second job to make sure that you can afford the coffee you drink in the morning. So I think homelessness is a scam. Just like I believe, there's a lot of scams out there. Um, it's unfortunate. There's a lot of people getting rich off homeless. And we need to, as Angelinos, as citizens, as humans, really look at why they're pushing homelessness. Gavin Newsom 16 years ago said he was going to solve homelessness in 10 years in San Francisco, and San Francisco is going broke, and Oakland is going broke. And, we have the same DA here, piece of shit, Gascon, that's destroying LA. So homelesses are not just all homeless or unhoused. There are a lot of transients and criminals that are destroying cities, communities, and businesses. It's just my 2 cents.
With that being said, do you think homelessness is ever going to get fixed?
No, sir. Homelessness, it makes too much money to solve the problem. It creates too much jobs for the, selective people for it to be solved. If they wanted to solve homelessness, in my opinion, One, you can buy a ton of trailers for about 10 grand each. You can import from China. You could build trailer homes like they did back in the days. You could build communities. Instead of buying a hotel in the middle of downtown LA to convert it to homeless housing, go out to Lancaster, Palmdale, outer communities that are cheaper in the certain areas. So homelessness makes too much money, and it's the number one thing politics runs on, right? So what did Karen Bass run on? Oh, I'm going to house Angelinos. How many politicians talk about solving the homelessness crisis? It's been almost 2 decades. We still haven't seen it solved. So homelessness is not going to get solved. I don't think they're going to, unless people just get sick of it. I don't know what's going to happen after that, because people will just stop paying maybe taxes or whatever it is. But they're letting criminals out of jail. They're becoming homeless. They're letting mentally ill out of jail. They're becoming homeless and creating more crimes and committing more crimes. So, yeah, homelessness is not getting solved. Not anytime soon. Cheers.